Respect.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome back to another edition of Full-Time Sports Network's Cop Talk. Only place to be on a Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Good evening, Stoney, sir. How are we doing, sir?
Good evening, RT. Yeah, I'm good.
Welcome
Just back
forward,
and
man.
looking forward to this evening's edition of Cop Talk.
Yeah, man. Good to have you back, my brother, man. Good to have you back.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay, so first and foremost, people, we will start off with some good news, man. We must say some good news. And our very own Luis Diaz has been, his dad has been released and reunited with the family. And that has been confirmed. So that is definitely good news, man. So we're really glad to hear that. And now Mr. Luis Diaz can get back to doing what he does best. And that's taking on defenses and causing havoc for defenders, mate. So yeah, nice, must say. Glad to have his dad back, safe and sound, and reunited with his mum and his family, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely good news, man.
Love to have that. We will start off slowly with the Luton game, first and foremost, before we move on to tonight's game. So what was your match rating?
Is that collective match rating?
Collective.
Oh, man. I think I'm probably looking at a 5.5.
5.5. Okay. I think you're being quite nice yourself. Being quite, yeah.
And you know what? That's probably one of the lowest team ratings I think I've probably ever given for Liverpool. But yeah, I give it a 5.5 for various reasons. We just seem so lackluster. I was trying to get my head around it, and the squad or the team that was picked was capable of actually going up to Luton's ground to get a result. Was it that Liverpool were put off by the little tight pitch and playing in front of just over 11,000 fans? But they should be used to that. So I was very disheartened. Very, very, very disheartened in that game as well.
Yeah, I must say I fully agree, man. And those are some of the questions I was actually going to pose to yourself. You've just answered one of them anyway. Well, you've spoken about one, but we're going to get into it. So my main thing is this now. These are the points I want you to address, Stone. Why were we so flat? Was it because we were like slightly jaded? Was it the small pitch? Or do Luton actually deserve credit for their tactics that they used to get at us? Because I think they were very smart myself.
Yeah, they were smart. I think they played well. Look, regardless of what system they played, I think they played a 3-4-2-1 against us. But I mean, we had these are all Premiership footballers, right? So regardless of what team they're playing for, regardless of their ability, for me, we had a full strength team that was picked to play against Luton, and we were up against the likes of Ross Barkley, who's attempting to reignite his football career.
He looked like it was working that night, I tell you.
That's what I'm saying. We were up against a seasoned pro in Andy Townsend in there as well. I think the goalie played really good as well, but there was no excuse for that. All of our players just seemed lethargic. We were pondering around the pitch. Who did we play before? I think we played Bournemouth before this game. Bournemouth before this game. So it wasn't like we were coming off, and I say disrespectfully, Bournemouth aren't, pushing for any honours. So it's not like we came off against a real hard team. We were actually pushed to the sword. We came into that game off playing against Bournemouth. I'm not saying this should have been a gimme and that we should have wiped the floor with Luton, but we had chances, we had opportunities there. I think we had over 20 shots we had over 20 shots in here. We were set up fine. couldn't breach them.
I think we had. I think it was 28 shots.
28 shots. All right. Well,
on target.
There you go.
28.
There you go. So, as I said, the team that we actually put, I was happy with the defense. Didn't have any issues with that. Our midfield, I was happy with, and offensively, I was happy with as well. But to come away with a draw, that's extremely disheartening.
So, do you think it had anything to do with the small pitch?
I would like to think not. And the only reason why I say that, right? As a club, we would have faced lots of different teams in the Premiership. We would have faced lots of different teams in the Champions League. And the reason why I was saying that, because we're only just this season playing in Europa, right? So we would have played lots of different teams in the Premiership. We would have played lots of different teams in the Champions League. We would have played lots of different teams in the FA Cup over the years. And also we would have played lots of different teams in the Carabao Cup as well. So in terms of us being able to adjust to a smaller pitch, preparation-wise, we should have done better than that. Even if it was something we're part of the coaching, and they probably did do this, by the way, as he said, I am not a coach, right? Even if it was something during the coaching sessions where we training at Melwood, they just squeeze the pitch smaller, then at least all of the preparation is actually getting those players ready to actually play on what would be a smaller pitch. So for me, no, our players, they're all internationals, they're seasoned professionals. We've got, an amazing manager, coaching staff as well. So in terms of that, they should have been way better prepared. Way, way, way better prepared.
I hear that. We're going to say good evening to Mr. Solo from the Man United Agenda. He says, good evening, gentlemen. Big up. He says, the first time he's seen our show in 17 weeks.
Wow.
Been busy. Wow. Yo, what, you just paid the bill? What? Just paid the internet bill. My gosh, man. Speaking of gentlemen, he said you still will finish in the top 4 this season. And United will be 8th this season. We are bad this season. I hope so. I hope you are 8th. Trust me. I would love that. And I do hope, we still get the top 4. I really do. I think we really need to bring that back as well, that Champions League. We really do need to bring that back to us, our football next season. Definitely. So, all right then. So Stoney's all right saying, fair enough, I get that. But when you're not used to playing on that size pitch, all right, you play that, but that's like once here, once there, you know what I mean? Then another 6 months or so you play on one pitch there for one game or whatever. So they're not really used to it. And the kind of football that Liverpool want to play, you probably need that bigger pitch. But what's about, were we just really that bad, or were Luton that good, or tactically did they set up correctly to play us?
I think it was the latter, what you basically said there as well. So as I just mentioned, I was really happy with the way that Liverpool were set up. I was happy with the players that were actually put out there, and nobody was carrying any injuries, or I don't think we would have had any concerns with any of the players that were obviously being fielded. But credit to Luton, as I said, they played in a way, they played so narrow that we didn't have an opportunity to even attempt to try and break them down centrally. And when we did attempt to go down wide, they just kept shuffling over. If Dominic and Salah was attempting to come down on what should have been our right-hand side, you'd have seen, I can't remember his name, the person who was playing with Andrews Townsend behind Morris. There was a player on the left-hand side. I can't remember his name. I'm sure his name's like Ogbeni or something like that.
Yeah.
They had 3 players that were pushing over into that side. And it's the same thing. If we then tried to come down on the left-hand side, because Gomez started on the left-hand side. So if Gravenberch and Jota tried to come over, then Menji wasn't allowing him to, and Kabore wasn't allowing us any space on that side as well. So tactically, I just think they were sound. I just think that Luton were sound. So
I have to say, I take off my hat to them, and I have to give them credit where credit is due. They did their homework. They thought about the small pitch and everything as well, the crowd being on top of them, and also their tactics on how they're going to try and soak it up and hit us on the break. Because we had something like, I think it was like 72% possession, man.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, 72 or 78, something like that. Anyway, in the 70s, we had all that possession, and we didn't really make it count, to be fair. So I have to say credit to them, man. They soaked us up, and they gave us some early warnings as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we were lucky certain times as well. Their left winger, he played very well.
Yeah.
I must say, he played very well. He was driving. He never stopped running. I did think to myself, you know what, at one point, they're going to get tired.
Yeah, but they
are
didn't.
going to get tired. You hear me? But they just kept going, man. I think adrenaline carried them through, to be honest. Especially once they took the lead, they got that extra spring in their step. We can make this, we can get this, and then up pops your boy. Very fitting for him to score as well, I must say. Mr. Luis Diaz, man, and comes and saves the day for us. I tell you.
It was just too late in the game for me. As I said, the goalie played really well, which hopefully should have been expected. And the captain, I'm not going to say that I remember his name. I think his name's Lockyer. The centre back, who was the captain, he played really well as well. So you're right. Probably on reflection, I probably need to give them more credit than I'm probably saying. Maybe I need to review the game. I've seen it twice already, but maybe I'm just being stubborn, or maybe I'm just not being realistic with how the game actually went.
Okay, big shouts, man. Goes out to Mr. R&B.
Apologies about my lateness. I've just been running like back home, and I'm here. So hopefully I've missed 15 minutes. So let me apologize.
It's all right, man. It's all right. We'll let you off, man. Gonna say a big shout goes out to Mr. CW, the one and only. He says Stoney is back. Says he's just got in from work as well, but nice of you as always to join us. Big shouts goes out to the silver one. Big up, boys. What happened out there? But there are bigger things than football. Amazing news about Papa Diaz. You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. See, silver one knows, man. The silver one knows. As we talk about, we did say beforehand, it didn't mean to Brees. We got him, man. We got him. He's back home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've spoken about the Luton game, so let me not say anything.
That is exactly what we're talking about now.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what we're talking about now. So, the silver one, we must say, give thanks for that, mate. Definitely. Glad to have him back home. So hold on a minute. So what, we lose tonight and Mr. B turns up, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, I know he ain't coming to troll us tonight after last night's performance, and I know this. Yeah? This I do know. They're bottom of their league. They're actually going to join us real soon. They'll be in the Europa League alongside us soon. Trust me. God. Just wait for it. One more game and they will be joining us. So what we were saying, Brees, and I'm going to get your insight into this actually quickly before we move on. So I've asked Stoney, was it down to the small pitch, or was it Liverpool players were jaded, or do Luton just deserve credit for their tactics and the way they set up and the way they played against us?
I think it's a little bit of all three. We did have chances. I mean, of course, Darwin missed out, like a setter. And again, Luton are going to play like that against, I'd say, like the big three, like the big four. And they took their chance. Was it a foul before they scored? Debatable, but...
What, the handball? You mean the handball?
Yeah. But, I mean, if you think about it, they literally did a Liverpool on us. They caught us on the counter. And, and like you can't grumble over being caught on a counter like that. Yes, it's a small pitch, and again, it's unfamiliar environment for a lot of those type of players. They're not used to be, playing with like the crowd on top of you. There's kind of literally so like many other factors, and another factor as well. And literally, again, we were lucky to even get a draw out of that game. Let's be absolutely honest. Luton deserved to win. How I see it, but glass half full. Potential champions always get some sort of job done, and we got a point away from home. We have to be like happy, but also as well outside the football, like you guys have just mentioned, we don't know how the players were feeling before like the game, with of course with the Luis Diaz situation. And again, I'm gonna say on camera, I've already seen the goal of the season, which is Diaz's goal. How, you know, for like someone to still be playing at an elite level and still putting a performance, knowing what's going on at home, and to score a goal as well, that's the goal of the season for me. And you know, we don't really talk about this. Again, you know, players' physical and mental health. I like Liverpool. Well, hopefully they are like supporting him, and you know, literally other family members and also other squad members who may have been affected by this. And yeah, you know, it's a kind of, I don't know, really a provoking thought for me now, where, you know, how important is football when things like this happen? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we can all debate about players and signings and whatnot, but these players are human beings. You know, it's a job for them. Why should a family member or a loved one be held at ransom or at gunpoint because of someone's job? You know, yeah, you know, for me personally, it just puts football into perspective.
100%. Well said, Tabrice, man. Seriously, well said. It seriously does, man. I think everybody around the world was rooting for him, and they need to come home, no matter what team they supported. To be fair, and I even saw tweets like from Man United fans and that as well, saying, you know what, we stand with you, blah blah blah. So yeah, that was big, man. That was big, I must say, and that's what we need in this world. You know what I mean? People to stand together, and that's how things get done. Seriously, Mr. B says, "I come in peace." He says he's here to support.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. We like to hear that. We like to hear that. I hear you. Big respect to Luis Diaz. Most of us would not even go to work.
Facts. 100%.
100%. If you was in your normal job, a lot of people won't be going to. You won't be going to work. Am I going to work? I won't be able to concentrate. You understand? Imagine you got to go to work and sit in front of a computer. Or that, or you got to talk and be nice to people on the phone. Come on, man. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
You know, and then still be scrutinized in the, you know, in the media, and still have away fans chanting all sorts of crap to you as well, and like still have the mental capacity to actually do a job and literally fulfill an objective, and again getting the goal that got us a point. It's incredible.
It is. Mr. VW, nice of you to join us, sir. He says that the Luton game highlighted why we won't be title contenders this season.
It's still, I think is
that true, or do you think it's just like a one-off performance?
I think it's good that everybody's got a different perspective in it. I think for me, we're not even really a third through the season, really, are we? So what? We've played 11 games. Man City seem to be on form. Tottenham seem to be on form. Yet Tottenham are 2 points ahead of us, and Man City are 3 points ahead of us. So at this early stage in the season, and obviously I know there's
we were robbed against Tottenham.
Yeah, so obviously I know there's teams behind us. Arsenal are on the same points, and Villa, I think, are probably on 22 points. Someone correct me if I'm incorrect. But the season's still early. So if, as you said, if we've played a game here against Luton, and Tabrice has obviously articulated the other factors that would have had an impact on our performance and the results, but we're still up there in the conversation, then we're still in the conversation to be running for the league. So it's too early.
VW says to beat City, you're going to have to win at least 33 games. We've done it in 2020 and no one has done it since.
Did he say we have to win at least? Did he say we have to win at least how much?
33 games. It's the draws that kill us.
Cool, but that's what I was saying. For me, I think we've played 11 games, we've lost 1. I know we've
and like think about
we've drawn 3 games, but we've lost 1 game. City have actually lost 2 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So you see what I mean? It's
but right, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But right, so the still one saying nights early, Liverpool are definitely still title contenders. What Vinny's trying to allude to though is City have lost 2 games and they're still above us.
Fine.
So what you have to remember is you're saying, right, so we've drawn 3 games. If they win 3 games, that means we get 3 points, they get 9.
Fair enough.
So that's the way the comparison. You have to look at the comparison. That's where that comes in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
He said it with a bit of pace in his voice as well. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on. I like that. So yeah, Luton game quickly before, because we're gonna have to move on and get to tonight's game. Before we do, Darwin Núñez, man, what's going on there?
I don't know. I think he's still a rough diamond. I still don't think we're going to see the best of him until another 2 seasons. In my opinion, has he improved from last year? The answer is yes.
Has he got another 2 seasons though, Stoney?
Yeah, he has.
You believe so?
Yeah. I do.
Okay.
I do. I believe he's got another 2 seasons. Okay. Whether it's with Liverpool.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm talking about. Has he got another 2 seasons with us?
No, I'm joking. I believe he does. Yeah, I really do. I think at the moment we're obviously blessed offensively with all of the players, Salah, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo. We've got all of the players there. Darwin Núñez, I still believe has got another 2 seasons with us. I do.
Okay. Tabrice doesn't look convinced.
No, I've always said it. Like he is a instinctive street baller. You know, when he doesn't have time to think about certain things, that's literally when he's sharp. When we need that cool, collective striker that's going to be scoring the tap-ins, that are going to be scoring, we're going to go around the keeper and slot it in nicely away from home. He doesn't have it in his lock. I'm sorry, Liverpool do not buy potential. Not at £90 million. I'm sorry. Not at £90 million. Yes, again, everyone spoke about his goals against Newcastle and whatnot. Again, instinct. Like, you know, in those pressurized split-second moments, great. But not, especially if we're looking to literally put in, you know, not only this season, but for the foreseeable future, you know, like a good title runs. Darwin is not the guy. And do Liverpool have 2 years to wait? We don't have 2 years to wait, because other teams are like going to get better, and other teams are going to start snapping up players that we should be looking at. We can't be waiting. Honestly, it's not worth it.
I think if we were a team that played where we were dependent on one striker. So I'll just give you an example. Say, for instance, we probably played similar to Chelsea at 4-2-3-1, right? And there was that main striker. Or say, for instance, Man United, we were just solely dependent on one striker. Could we solely depend on Darwin Núñez? My answer would be no. However, the reason why I believe he's still going to be there in the next 2 years is because we have so many forwards and they're always interchanging, depending on what game we played. Time's going to be on his hands. That's why I believe that he's still going to remain there.
That's a good point.
Because the goals are almost shared around, and we're not just focused on one of the offensive players to give us the goals. Don't get me wrong. I understand it could be a game where we need those goals, and it is all about the chances with Darwin Núñez, but that could be the same with any of our offensive players. Is he as dead-eye as Salah or even Jota? He's not as clinical as Jota. Or if Gakpo's in those positions, I would prefer Gakpo over Darwin Núñez 100%. But he's got time. I believe he's still got time.
You know, yeah, I mean, like, he's got time on his side, 100%. Yeah. But in the Liverpool shirt, I think we also forget that Mo is going to the African nations in January, right?
Yeah.
So literally, let's say in that period of time, there's going to be about 10 goals and possibly 5 assists that Salah is going to be, contributing to. Hey, you know what? We have to rely on someone that we feel confident in, that are going to be, that's actually going to take the baton from Mo Salah and say, you know what, for these next 10 games, I'm going to be the main man. And the only player,
we could actually slide Jota over on that side.
I was just about to say that.
Look,
I believe Jota could do it.
Jota could slide over on that side.
Jota can do a job, but he's
Luis Diaz on the other side.
Luis Diaz is a player, but he's not Salah. Like,
Luis Diaz will play in his normal position.
No, but again,
that's what I'm saying. So
so Mo was really quiet against Luton, really, really, really quiet. And again, in those,
he was quiet against Bournemouth.
Sorry,
he was quiet against Bournemouth too.
But that's at home. Like, that's our fortress. When you're away from home, you're not gonna get a lot of chances. And when you do, I would expect Mo Salah, when he does get his chance, to at least test the keeper. Darwin Núñez test the keeper maybe once or twice, and again, instinct, like reaction. Cool, that's all nice. But again, in those really cold moments where like you need to be calm and like precise with everything that you do, Darwin does not give us that. And again, we have to look and see, you know what, do we count our losses now, or do we bring someone else in to say, you know what, Darwin, like, bro, like, you got to fix up. He's had the whole preseason, that the team has also improved as well. And again, for me, him and Nicholas Jackson are kind of the same player, but just at a different.
No way,
Breeze.
Trust me.
Listen. Look. As you said that, look.
They're the same player.
No chance.
No way. What would be? I know it would be hard. This is just a question I'm just going to ask, and sometimes it's not all about numbers. What amount of goals would probably be a good return for Darwin Núñez in all competitions for us this season? Do you think, Tabrice?
In all competitions?
Yeah, for us. What do you reckon would be a good number for him?
I think 25, 30 in all competitions.
In all competitions?
In all competitions. Like, we are still in all 4 competitions, right?
Yeah. 30 goals.
In all competitions.
But it's only Salah that's capable. Not even Jota or none of our other forwards are on those numbers, though.
No, but Salah kind of gets on average 25 goals in the Prem alone.
Okay.
Alone. And literally, if we're looking at Darwin as the focal point, as a number 9, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not playing like Bobby, where like we all expected, Bobby not to get those numbers. But we are looking at Darwin as the cold killer. Like, we are like, we like bought him, okay, in the first season, potential, however people want to frame it. But now, this is the second season now. Second season.
25 goals.
But you know what? Is he still first choice for like us right now? Like, we always debate, is it going to be Jota? Is it going to be Gakpo? But Man City and other teams, they don't have that problem. They know who their number 9 is. But like, we are still experimenting and mixing. That doesn't show me any confidence at all.
Okay. So the silver one says that the Man City side is beatable. And people are forgetting how young Darwin is. He's still learning. He'll be okay. CW goes on to say, I always back Núñez, but I couldn't back him after that miss. You're on your own. Wow. He just dropped him like that. Jeez. Okay. So, 1-1 against Luton. We We escaped with a 1-1, got a point. We move on to tonight.
It felt like it was the same performance, but different competition. And I think the frustrating thing for me from this evening, forget about what happened at the end of it with the ref and all of those stuff. I think the frustrating thing for me is that it was a completely changed team, but we played exactly the same. So, we played Bournemouth, and then we played which wasn't a good performance, and then we played against Luton, and now we played again in a different competition. So 3 different competitions, because Bournemouth was in the cup as well, wasn't it?
The Carabao Cup.
Yeah. So 3 different competitions and 3 lackluster performances with changed teams. I mean, we've changed personnel as well. That's what I think. That's what I think was frustrating.
Catching, man, it's catching.
Huh?
Whatever it is, it's catching.
That's what I think the main frustration for me today was. I mean, the striker, that the number 9, Dalinga or something like that. I tell you what, he played like he reminded me of Mitrovic today. What on earth is very really that I call players out, right? What on earth was wrong with Matip today? He was being pushed all over the place. He was getting dragged out of positions, everything. He was just absolutely lost. I was hoping by the time halftime come, Klopp would have had a good talk. I mean, he clearly did, because he changed a couple of the personnel, but it was only Jota that seemed to have that little energy. I mean, we were lucky that what's our midfielder, Hendo? We're lucky that he remained on the pitch in that first half.
Yeah,
very lucky. But
he could have gone. He could have quite easily have gone.
Yeah, just extremely disheartening. Extremely disheartening again.
So what you must be giving him a similar team rating then?
Oh yeah, definitely a 5.5.
Okay. And what would you say?
Definitely a 5.5.
I've not seen the game, so literally I can't judge. So apologies, I've not. I know that we lost. Is it 3-1 we lost?
Think yourself lucky then that you didn't.
Yeah.
3-2.
Yeah. Okay, 3-2. So yeah, so literally I've not seen the game.
I felt sorry for but I don't feel sorry because it's added game time. So Jarrell played at centre back with Matip, and I probably would have thought that someone with more seniority and game time as Matip had, I thought that he would have been marshalling areas a little bit more and stuff like that. He just really seemed to be out of sorts. I mean, Tsimikas didn't have the best of games. We can definitely point a finger at him.
Oh my gosh,
100%. Because even going into the game, I think against Luton, we played Gomez at left back. We played Gomez at left back, didn't we? Yeah. So Tsimikas came here. I didn't expect Gomez to obviously play over that side because things would have been moved around. We definitely wouldn't have played Luke Chambers. Well, I mean, we could have played Luke Chambers. Scallion, it would have been a bit too much because we both played him in the other cups as well. But this was just a gimme. They came out there. If anything, they were set up so well. Those 2 banks of 4 that they played, they shifted. There was periods of times where they actually had 6 in their box. But when they broke quickly, similar to how Luton broke against us. Man, they broke very, very, very aggressively and with purpose. But we just seemed so lackluster. And you can't just say it was a crowd. Both crowds, the home crowd was amazing. But we were literally just going through the motions. Couldn't understand it.
CW saying about Tsimikas messing about for the goal there, which was... Oh man, it was terrible, terrible. Yeah. So poor to see, man. Like we was at that point, we was under no pressure.
None.
Do you know what I mean? We weren't great, but we was under no pressure then. And it's like that happened, and it's like they got a bit of life now. They got a bit of belief.
Yeah.
And then from there, that was it. That was it.
So I've not seen any of the goals, but do you think if Tsimikas would have been playing, well, if he could have played against Luton and probably had like a little bit more game time, do you think that goal that he can? I mean, again, I don't know how it happened, but do you think he'd be more up to speed with his match fitness and?
No, because he's been playing games. Robbo's been out for a little spell. He's been playing games, bro. Do you understand? And right now, he's not been performing, and it's like you've got an opportunity now to show what you can really do. Because Robbo's out long term, and I've got this kind of feeling like he's not performing because he's like, well, Robbo's out, so really and truly they have to look to me because I'm the next senior left back. And now that tells you how he's been playing for Klopp to have to start Gomez in his position. That tells you he's not really looked at the races, to be honest. He's not looked at it at all, man. It's been poor. And what he did today was just, oh my days.
Because where he got dispossessed, there was. Do you know the thing is? There was no need for him to actually have been in that area. Even, I mean, at some stage, Tabrice, after the show or whenever in the week, he'll have an opportunity to probably catch up with the game and watch some of the highlights. And when you see Tsimikas' body shape and how he actually got dispossessed, there's nothing that our defenders or Khela could have done anything about it. It just happened so quickly, but he didn't need to be in that position and where he got dispossessed as well. I thought Ben Doik had a really quiet game as well. I almost forgot he was actually playing as well. He actually did not much, which once again was a bit disheartening. But as I said, I think the whole team was quiet. So I'm not going to be here just trying to, point out any players individually, even though I've just mentioned Tsimikas and Matip. But it was just a lackluster team performance. So, and there's no way that we can attempt to play anywhere similar to that on our next game in the league. No way.
Chance. So the silver one quickly before we move on to the next one is I think that the problem is the front three you had in Mane, Salah, and Firmino was a generational front three. It would take some doing to replicate that, if I'm honest. Plus the game is always changing. So that's obviously talking about, with the Darwin Núñez and what we have now. Okay. CW saying we are so easy to counter like a knife through butter. It's shocking. And Tsimikas has gone back to 2021 like a Greek ghost on the ball. Yeah, shocking. All right, so before Stoney spoils any more of my player watches.
Oh, sorry.
So, well, Tabrice hasn't seen it now. So, Stoney, your full rundown on Ben Doik.
So, Ben Doik would have played in a position where Salah would have played right forward.
Yep.
He would have had Harvey Elliott in behind him, just tucking in centrally. He just couldn't get into the game. I've seen games where he seems to be on it, where he's dictating games, where when he does have the ball, he's playing with purpose. Diarra had him up really good. Sorry, I apologize. Diarra defensively was really good. He just didn't allow Doik to get anywhere involved in the game.
Apart from I think it was the first 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, I think you got the better of him about twice, and then he just faded after that.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. When he had it, Diarra actually pushed him as wide as possible and just kept him really over near the corner flag with their left back as well. So, yeah, Doik, he just wasn't able to get into the game. He wasn't able to, even in terms of coming back, trying to receive the ball at his feet. It just wasn't happening. Any of the balls that were played in front of him or different positionings, it just wasn't happening. And I know he came off at half-time as well. I think it was just a bad day at the races for him. I'm happy that one of our young players is getting game time, but it just wasn't a good day for him.
Okay. So our next player on Player Watch is It's the Endo. So Stoney.
I just wish it would. Yeah. Similarly, Endo had an opportunity to play. So the last couple of games, it's been McAllister that's actually played the number 6. Endo just seemed to be quite leggy today, lunging into challenges, which I thought wasn't necessarily needed. We had 3 players in midfield. They had 2, but we were still being overrun. Couldn't get my head around it either. But he just always seemed to be behind play, 1 or 2 steps behind play as well. Their midfielders, was it Junior? Yeah, it was their midfielder who scored an own goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he was all, and the other midfielder ended up getting the assist. Endo just always seemed to be 2 or 3 paces behind the opposition as well. A lot of his play was played backwards towards our defenders in terms of trying to get Elliott and McAllister into the game as well. So, yeah, it's definitely not a lot of gigging. He just seemed to be lost as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether he listened to any of Klopp's tactics, but didn't surprise me that he came off at half time. But as he said, he should have got the second yellow. So that's probably why Klopp actually took him off.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, he was lost.
I think what he needs to learn to do to make himself that different player is he needs to be more, what do you call it, anticipating and not being reacting. He should be cutting balls out rather than chasing.
Yeah.
That's what he spends so much time doing, and that's his problem. When you're in that position, you're supposed to be reading the game. You should be cutting stuff out, where he spends a lot of time chasing back players. And that's what puts you under pressure.
And yeah, I think what he was doing as well is not too sure, as you said, we don't know what the tactics was from Klopp and the coaching staff, but he seemed to be pressing by himself. Usually there's a trigger. Whether it's from our midfielders or, like any of our forward line, but he was pressing by himself today. And that's probably why he got himself into a little bit of a pickle with the yellow card. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So last player on player watch.
Yeah.
As the reason why I picked him is because he's actually, because Endo played, he's actually played more forward, like he's more his natural position. But he hasn't been playing for us. So I said, let's have a look and see what he's done today then.
So I mean, even with that, you're right. He didn't play in the number 6. I know in a couple of weeks before you mentioned that at Brighton he plays in different positions, and he also does it the same for the national squad. I think player-wise, the highest ratings will probably either be him or Harvey Elliott for me. I think McAllister did more screening work for Tsimikas today and covering Hendo. Personally, I think he did a lot of donkey work in the game, and as he said, he's come off with the assist. But if there was a man of the match for us, it would have been either him or Harvey Elliott. But also, once again, he just seemed lost.
Okay.
Makes it. What do we say? We're always looking
for R&B. Mr. R&B don't change, boy. I tell you.
Consistency, man.
So that was a great segue. That honestly, that player watch was absolutely amazing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy, I tell you. Oh my days. CW says Lucas using the ball is like hold on to a hot jacket potato as long as possible until you can't hold it no more. Yeah,
so I like quickly watched the highlights. I saw the Tsimikas one and also Luis Diaz tried to do a around the world as well, which was a bit
with 3 players around him.
Yeah.
So and of course at the goal disallowed in the 97th minute, it looked like a handball to me. So
as well, I was going to ask that gentleman. So was that? Would you say? All right. So first of all, you'll say it's a handball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But was it a handball that led directly straight to a goal?
No, because it wasn't the last phase. It seemed to have been, and correct me on this, right? There seemed to be like 7 phases of play before that. And when the ref blew the whistle, I was thinking that something actually happened in the box. I must admit, I wasn't thinking that. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that it was to do with that incident. So the ref was blowing, and you know what? Oh no, because he's got the earpiece, isn't it? Because even afterwards, when everything happened and the ref stopped, originally I thought the Toulouse player was saying to the ref still about the handball because he was trying to manage all the other situations, right? And then I remember obviously the ref has got the earpiece in it. So and then he went over, but I don't know. Look, we're happy with the late goal. It is what it is. We didn't play well, and it just hurts me to say I think it was just a fair result. So yeah,
we got what we deserve. Good evening. It's the thought of the day. So good evening, fellas. Alex McAllister just isn't up to par for me yet. Not just tonight, but overall so far. But time will tell.
And could you just keep that comment up for me, please, RT? What's interesting here, if you guys can bring me up to that as well, because I'm trying to recall, did McAllister play more of an advanced position at Brighton? Because he seemed to score and be involved in way more goals than he has at Liverpool.
Yeah, he did, but a good few of his goals were penalties. But he did get on the score sheet as well.
Yeah,
he did.
And
I think the last season for them he got about 10.
Yeah,
he had about five or 6 penalties for them.
Right.
Okay. But he did play. He wasn't the number 6 there.
No. They
remember that they had Caicedo in that.
Yeah.
Right. In the same team as him. So he was playing further forward.
Yeah,
he was playing further forward. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying, Mr. Thought of the Day. I think we'll see the best of him when we've got a proper number 6, and then he can really be released to go and do what he needs to do further forward and cause more problems.
But you know what, RT?
He's definitely got a pass in him.
Yeah,
that slide rule passing that, and like we said, he can score a goal.
But you see, with that, then are we going to be waiting until either the January transfer window or the end of the season? Because at the moment, I was thinking if it's not McAllister that's playing at the number 6, the options are Endo, or was it Curtis Jones that was playing there for a short period of time, right? Yeah. So then, does that mean that for this season we're probably going to really not see the best of McAllister? We're probably going to have to wait the end of, you know what I mean?
We don't know. This we don't know, because another thing that we're looking at is what I read is that Klopp is basically saying that Endo needs to get up to speed.
Right.
He's not up to speed yet. Remember that a lot of players that's come through with Klopp, he hasn't just blooded them straight away.
Yeah.
They've taken time first and foremost. So I think that's what Endo is one of them players. So we just have to wait and see. And if he's talking about he's going to take time, and then we can bring him in. But also, on that note, the news I'm hearing then is that we may not be in for the Andre deal anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about not trying to block players like Stefan Bajcetic, his future from coming through. So we always knew that Endo was a stopgap player, basically.
Yeah.
He's there as a squad player. Coming and do a job for now until, well, maybe you got Bajcetic, but then even if you get Bajcetic, he's still young and inexperienced. So you've got a player who's 30, stopgap player, and then you've got a youngster who needs to be learning his trade, basically. So if I were Klopp, I'd still go out and get Andre.
Yeah,
and that will really help us massively.
And regarding what you said about stopgap players, that's a great segue in terms of Thiago. Like, when are we going to get rid of this guy?
Well, I think he probably would have gone already if he's clearly had the same injuries I believe that if Liverpool get him fit, then he'll probably move on during the January transfer window. He hasn't played at all for us. I don't even.
It's like you lot are just reading my notes or something.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on, let me put my notes over here, man. Car. Yo, check and see if there's any cameras about the place or something. What's going on?
All right,
So,
we'll wait. We'll wait for you to introduce that.
Talk is in January transfer window. Thiago could be off to either Juve or Inter.
Wow,
they're both up for it.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, they're both.
A win-win for everybody, then. Really.
Yeah,
it's a win-win. Yeah.
Endo pressing on his own, just the start of a collapse. Endo's basically the middle brick in Jenga. Take that one out and we wobble. Shouts goes out to Peter Raymond. Thanking you for joining us, my friend. Remember, new peoples, like, share, and subscribe. Bloody hell, Chris is on one as per usual. Yep, need another midfielder who's a more defensive mindset.
Yeah. Question then with that, you see with Gravenberch, does he play more defensively as well then?
Nah.
He's nah.
He's more that player who drives forward with the ball. Yeah, that's Gravenberch for me. Drives forward with the ball.
Yeah, he's Gravenberch is like what Arsenal thought they were going to get with Diaby, but because of his injuries, you know, he's that player that will just like once he kind of gets like going, very very hard to stop.
Okay. So a question for you, gents, then. So, Klopp's changed the team around again, and obviously he's brought in a few fringe players, and obviously, like we said, we haven't looked the best. But do you believe that playing these same fringe players, obviously I'm talking about one at a time, all right, not all of them together, obviously, in the first 11, that they will look a lot different? Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
So I'm saying the first 11 plus first 10 players, sorry, and then you add in Endo. The first 10 players basically, and you add in Doik. Would their performances be a lot different, or is it a case of because of all the changes?
That's a really good question, but I'm thinking even if, and I know I'm just only thinking of highlighting the previous game that we played against Luton, I would say that was nearly our first team there, really. Apart, everybody playing in the positions that we brought them in, apart from Gomez playing over the left-hand side. So you're right. If we got the main team, and you're right, if it was Doik, then he'd be in instead of Salah.
Yeah.
We've seen Jarrell come in at the back instead of Matip as an example. Jarrell played okay there. Who else we probably seen? We saw before Stefan got injured, we saw Stefan playing in a team with what would have been deemed as our first team. I think he was okay there as well. We've seen Kelleher play. He always plays in the kind of second team, though, squad team, isn't it? But he's still okay. He's all right in there. And I feel Scallion and Luke Chambers is only recently coming as well, isn't it? So who else is there then? Oh, Tsimikas, no matter what team Tsimikas plays in, is just all over the place. He's had chances. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of go on the premise, and again, I'm probably even speaking on my own experiences. When you play with better players, you'll always raise your game. No matter what your level is, you'll always raise it at 5, 6, 7% because you know that you're now in with the big boys. But these fringe players fringe or squad players, they do need game time because we don't know what's around the corner. And there are there's definitely going to be games where we have to rely on our squad to kind of get us out of trouble. So and again, to win the Premier League, whatever competition, you like need a squad and you need an active squad. So they like definitely need to be playing, but exactly what you were saying in like drips and drops.
Okay, so BW says, as I've previously said, Thiago has brought nothing to LFC. His ability has never been in question. He has been a flop signing.
That's harsh.
Gakpo came and started well, but it's looking rubbish of late, not bringing nothing. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that is a bit harsh. Provided he's just come back from injury, and before that he was actually scoring goals. It's disappointing as we could have qualification sealed. The positive, we play Lask at home next in the group Europe, and who are the worst team in the group. Maybe are still not qualified. Good for sharpness. Who knows? Shane. Our second left back is rubbish. Never rated him, but I know he gets a good character. But boy,
I think Tsimikas is probably going to be one of the players that we moved on at the end of the season.
We need to. I think we need to.
Yeah,
we just gave him a new contract.
But you know what? Some of that new contract, it could be that there's a different exit, or it may be that you got a new contract, and if someone bids 20 mil for you, then you've definitely gone, or something like that. That's what I'm hoping. But I think he's the left back's definitely an area that I think we need to probably try to strengthen in. Yeah, definitely need to strengthen that.
Hold on, what does Mr. Thought of the Day say? When on top form, who are you picking over Diaz and Jota?
But they play. I'll take Diaz for me.
But you know what? They both play for me. That's a really good question. But they both play in two different roles for Liverpool. So Jota will either play centrally or play over on the right. But Diaz primarily just plays over on the left. And with that, the positioning and the requirements for us functioning for us is two completely different. So I'm not chickening out on that, but I can't pick between either of those. They're both good, but as you said, they play in function differently for us at Liverpool.
I'm picking Diaz, 100%.
I bet you don't get more goals than Jota at the end of the season.
But have we seen the best out of Jota? You know,
that's what I said. No, so imagine that. You haven't seen the best out of Jota, but you're still going to outscore him.
Yeah, but okay.
He's actually not playing all we want
in a Liverpool shirt, but he was like supposed to be prime Jota when maybe 2 or 3 seasons in, and like we've not seen anything apart from his natural finishing ability. Great, but we all know what Diaz can do when he's on top form. He can also score goals, left foot, right foot headers.
He doesn't score them at the rate of what Jota does. That's the difference.
No, but
I'm not saying I'm going to take him over. I'm just saying they're 2 different players for me.
Okay, so who is
someone can bang goals?
Okay, so then who would you take then, Artie?
Depends. It depends on on who the rest of my team is and what I'm really looking for.
You guys are sitting on the fence, man.
I'm being truthful.
You guys are sitting on the fence.
No, I'm being truthful.
They're 2 different. For me, they're just 2 different type players. I mean, you've got. Yeah, they're 2 different type players, and both of them are capable of scoring goals. Both of them, yeah, they both. I can't call it. I can't call it.
In this side now, in this current Liverpool side now, if both players were in form, who would you pick?
I don't know because it's about
what I'm trying to say. No, listen. If you're saying both players are in form, but both players are in form, right? So what, the other players in the team are in form as well?
I'm just saying in this current Liverpool.
I'm saying are there other players in the team in form? This plays a big factor in it.
Well, yeah, but football doesn't work like that. Like either players are in form or out of form.
Oh, this is what I'm trying to say.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But like in this current Liverpool team, in terms of like the form that we're in today, like right now.
Okay.
Prime Jota.
If Salah's in form, then I can have Diaz in my team because he creates other problems for you. If Salah's not in form and I need somebody else to be scoring goals, then I'm probably going to want Jota because he's the shotter.
Mm.
Understand my reasoning, bro. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. If I'm pushed, then for me it's going to be Jota, and the reason I say that is his output. Not only does he score, but he also assists, and he can play in more positions than Diaz. If I'm pushed to respond between either of them, then it'll be Jota.
No. Listen, guys, I'm not buying that because literally, if like Thierry Henry was in our squad right now, and then someone said,
but you're bringing different numbers, though.
Everyone will say Thierry Henry.
That's different numbers, bro.
No, I was just about to say that.
That's totally different numbers.
No, but Thierry plays predominantly on the left.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't. He's different numbers.
No,
I'm talking about what the team requires. That's how I'm going to pick the player.
Yeah.
What the team requires.
I'm picking Diaz all day.
Yes.
See, all day.
And you know what? And it's a beat. And honestly, it was a good question that was really asked. And that is a beauty for Liverpool. We've got both of them.
There you
go. When both of them play, all three of us are going to be happy.
There you go.
It's true.
VW says Diaz for me. Oh, C-Dub, right. So Vinny just said Diaz for him. A couple seasons ago, I would have said Diaz, but I'm saying Jota now. VW, Diaz will bring more assists, even if he scores less goals, which makes him more productive for LFC. Only thing successful about Thiago, he's played more games than Keita, but both made a difference.
Yeah. It's true. And we will be able to reduce that.
Hold on. Don't run this. Watch, Vinny ain't finished yet. But however, Jota brings goals. Which is a very valuable commodity. Very valuable commodity. Because you're talking about Diaz bringing assists, but then he could be assisting Darwin Núñez.
And
we all know how that could end up.
A question, and you guys are going around the houses.
Yeah,
like,
we all know how that could end up.
It's cool.
Yeah. Assisting Darwin Núñez, mate. You never know, bro. You can see the ball flying past your yard. Move your curtain.
Oh boy.
So, gentlemen, we have Brentford incoming. And then we got a little break, and then we got Man City.
That's correct.
2 tough games, man. Tough games for a team that's we're not actually currently in form at the moment. I'd have to say, after our last 3 performances, I have to say we are actually not in form. And that is a couple tough games coming up. So how do you see this one going against Brentford?
And it's that thin line once again, because we're not in form, but we're still third in the league. Weird, right?
Yeah.
You see? I think it's going to be a very hard game playing against Brentford. They're still able to function without their talisman. They've found a way of remaining to be resilient. Strux is still strong. Even if they do concede, they still got resolve. in obviously getting back in games. We've seen it where they've been down and they've come back as well. This is going to be a very tough game at home against Brentford. Yeah. And as he said, at the beginning of the game, we can't go into it with the same mindset that we've had playing against Brentford, that we had against Luton, and that we had against Toulouse today. We will be in trouble. And in all three games, as I said earlier in the show, we've played different teams, different combination of players, and the performances have all been the same, lackluster. So hopefully these players will go home. Klopp will have another word with them, and whatever gene up they need. Hopefully that be in place when we play against Brentford. We're obviously going to need the crowd to help us as well. If the players ain't going to stand up for themselves. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Okay, so Mr. R&B.
Totally agree. I mean, if you're not up for Brentford, they will turn you over quick time. And funny enough, without Ivan Toney, they actually look a lot more of a team. They look a lot more solid. and oh gosh, I think it's gonna be a close game, but it's very interesting in terms of what Stoney you've like talked about the crowd getting behind the team. That shows that we are worried. We're not even talking about the ability of the players. We're like talking about the crowd being the 12th man. And again, that's
well, right now we're not informed, so we got every right to be worried, bro.
But like usually we'd be like, you know what, we are, we're like Liverpool, this, that, and the other. But now we're, we need all the help we can get. Rightly so, 100%. It's not going to be an easy game. That's probably it's probably the game that we just didn't need right now. That's I would prefer to play Man City before Brentford. Funny enough.
Okay.
I think the players will raise it for that.
Yeah,
definitely. So CW says Salah, Jota, Diaz, they're sorted. Bring chaos on as an impact player. Chaos. Brentford are tough to break down against big teams. Yep, we know that. Mr. Fort of the Day is saying since the temperature dropped a little, we look stale. You say the players are cold. Terrible, man. Saying man's cold, I don't care, bro. I don't want to be hearing that. Liverpool 2-0. Brentford going to be a patience game.
Yeah.
See, like Wissa and Mbeumo, that's the kind of guys that them don't like playing against, man. Them little big guys, the ones who are going to try and get in behind you and that. Those are the ones that they don't like. Oh man, they don't like playing against, man. Seriously.
I mean,
what's he doing in the comments? He's supposed to be on the bloody show, isn't he? And listen, even your comments are late, bro. Even your comments are late.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Preds, how you doing? He said, let's not panic. It's a little speed bump. Where there's been a couple of them speed bumps, bro. Seriously, it's testing our suspension. I'm telling you. And Preds is saying 3-1 win to Liverpool.
But isn't that once again how strange the league is at the moment? As you said, credit to Brentford. We know how solid they are. They're playing, but we're thinking about a team that's going to be coming to Anfield that are currently sitting below Man United in the league, and Man United haven't been playing good this season as well. So it just goes back to what at the beginning of the show, someone in the comments mentioned whether we thought we were like league contenders, and I was saying yes. I'm saying at the moment the league's still too early.
No, it is too early. It is too early.
Way too early, man. So
VW, I don't want no 1-0 because then I'll end up looking like Stoney and Tabrice, bro. Trust me. I ain't far off already. Yeah? But these 1-0ers, bro, you crazy?
No, but
hell no, it's not good for my health.
But you know what? Winning a game 1-0, you know, like you see the character of the team. I would
watching it is not good for my health.
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes that's kind of what you need at home, where you just got to dig out a 1-0 win. Like you actually learn a lot about the character.
I get that. Yeah, and you know what? Once it's done, you can calm down and breathe. But I'm talking about actually going through it and going through the motions of that. It's not nice, man. It's not nice. A roller coaster ride. And then you know what? With like 30 seconds to go, and they get a corner, and you're just like, Jesus, here it goes. Man. Come on.
I've got a question for you guys. Like, could you see Mbomo in a Liverpool shirt? Because I can.
Wow.
You do make these calls, I tell you. You do make these calls, mate.
Honestly.
It's
okay. Before I even answer that, I'll just tell you this now. I work with a guy, and he's a Brentford fan. And he actually believes that Mbeumo ain't good enough for Brentford.
What?
And he's a season ticket holder. So he actually watches him live week after week.
That's yeah. I think what would be interesting with that is what Mbeumo must be about 24. So he's about the same age as. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be provocative here, right? So he's the same age as Darwin Núñez, right? He plays in a forward position, and his goal output is less than Darwin Núñez. So why could we possibly, as a club, why would we possibly be looking at getting Mbeumo as another forward with less output than Darwin Núñez?
And the one we've got already.
But his goal contribution for me is better. His kind of overall play is a lot better than Darwin Núñez. In pressurized situations, I would back Mbeumo more than Darwin Núñez.
Okay.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Darwin left-footed or right-footed?
I don't know. He seems to be able to use both. He's predominantly right-footed.
Is he predominantly right?
Yeah, I originally thought he was left-footed.
I'm thinking because he played over on the left-hand side for his previous team. He played centrally, but I'm just thinking when he hit those volleys, you know what? I think he's probably both. He's probably like Son. He can.
No, don't say Son.
No. Jesus. I'm not comparing him to Son. No, listen. I said because he can shoot with both feet, but he's predominantly right-footed. We've seen him score goals with both feet, but I think he's actually predominantly right-footed. Because I was just thinking some of the goals he scored, like when he's done the volleys and stuff like that. But I couldn't see us gaining in Mbeumo. I don't think his goal output as an offensive player would be enough, because even if we removed Darwin Núñez from the equation, his output wouldn't be far superior than Salah. It wouldn't be far superior than Gakpo. It wouldn't be far superior than Diaz, and it wouldn't be far superior than Jota. So I couldn't see him getting in there.
Okay. So Pred says we ain't a 1-0 team. And then he goes on to also say that he's right-footed.
Okay.
And Mr. Foot of the Day, yes, he is suspended for that game. I think that's the last game of his suspension. Talking about McAllister. Vinny says we need to grind up, pause, a result. Very true. And CW saying, I don't care how we win. I would take a 1-0 from now to the end of the season, even if the goal were off someone's backside, just 100%. Get the win.
100%.
Yeah, I hear that. And you probably look about 20 years older, mate. By that time come round. Yeah? No joke. Okay, my peoples. So yeah. It's all about a tough game this Sunday against Brentford. But we are hopeful. We never walk alone, man. We back our team. You know what I mean? Hopefully now, Luis Diaz can just let the strings loose now. Daddy's back home. Can just focus and concentrate on playing football, and we can get a job done. And hopefully then as well, because VVD was ill. It's another reason why he wasn't available for today. Gavin Birch couldn't make it today, and Curtis Jones couldn't make it today. So hopefully we can add them guys back to the squad to give us a bit more options to play this game here. All right, my people. Brother Stoney, thank you very much, man. It's been a blast. Good to have you back.
No, thank you very much for hosting another brilliant show. Everyone tuning in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and join us again next week, Thursday at 10 o'clock.
Mr. R&B, it's good to have you back, brother. Good to have you back, man. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing me back from loan from Juventus. I am now here to stay.
He was at Chesterfield, bro. He was at Chesterfield. I only brought you back because they weren't playing you. Tell them don't waste my time. Hey, no, as a matter of fact, you know what? Sorry to cut you before we go. Actually, there was a snippet saying that there's a player that could actually save Klopp money rather than him having to dig into the transfer market come January or next summer. And they're saying it's about time to bring back Carvalho. What they're saying is, as well, that he's not learning nothing at Leipzig because he's only started one game anyway. He's on the bench, and they're saying that they reckon that if he'd have stayed, he could have been on the same track as Harvey Elliott, and look how he's developing because he's actually getting game time. But the insider has told me that Carvalho don't want nothing to do with Klopp again now. He feels disrespected and whatever, and he feels probably that promises were broken, and he was glad to get away, and he has no intentions of coming back.
Wow. So
we'll see how that one pans out. I know Stoney's not happy with that because Stoney was talking like he was his agent. You know what I mean?
That 10% commission.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Stoney was on that commission, mate. That's why he obviously wanted that deal done.
I'm definitely displeased at that. But you know what? The way that the club may look at it is, I think in the end, it was probably about 15 mil we paid for him. Still a young player. If they loan him out for another 2 seasons, I'm sure his value will exceed that, and then he moves on, and then Liverpool get their money back. That's probably the worst case scenario.
Get their money back and some, I reckon.
Yeah. But would I like to see him come back? Then the answer is definitely yes.
What about you guys? Again, it's not really a kind of controversial transfer, but Jadon Sancho for Liverpool is having a torrid time out of United.
Few factors. That wage bill, Man United would probably have to pay all of his wages. If he was to come to Liverpool, then he would be trying to battle against Luis Diaz, your player, and the other side, Mo Salah. So I just couldn't see him coming and being able to get into the team, unfortunately. He's a good player. I just hope that he finds somewhere where he's settled and we can see him get back to the form that he had at Borussia Dortmund. But I just don't think Liverpool will be the answer for him.
Okay. So, Fred said, look at Stoney. One mention of Carvalho, eyebrows raised. Trying to get rid. Don't need snot golden players like that. Maybe you're not good enough. Simple. He's talking about Carvalho, actually. And say, no, I don't want him back with that attitude. He ain't playing because he ain't good enough.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Okay. Well, watch this space, man. We'll see what happens there. We'll try and bring you the hot news first and foremost right here on Kop Talk. Remember, each and every Thursday at 10 o'clock. So tell a friend to tell a friend.